So what do you actually believe? Uh, well, like what are the things that you want to know are true? I think know would be a better word to use because people have a lot of beliefs, and we have a lot of beliefs based off of uh, just the blind trust and blind faith in what someone has told us it is, instead of actually using the same powers or methods that either they did use or that you should think they have used to come up with whatever it is that they told you, whatever it is anybody is telling you. Like everybody is, it seems like everybody's into bettering themselves now, and that is something that is really important in both ways. Why it's important to better yourself, that's always something that you should do, but also important in actually studying like why someone would want to be better. Because if we get back to the word belief, we all have certain beliefs here that someone has told us, that someone told them, that someone told them, and someone told them, and it goes on. It's kind of like the game that we used to play, like telephone. It starts with one person, and then somebody whispers it in the ear of somebody else. I mean, I'm sure you get the analogy. You don't know what you know, like, and that's not putting down anyone. I could say I, but we're all in this together because we're all here in this time. And that is also important too, because the only thing that matters is, in fact, the moment. Nothing else really is important because the past really has already happened. But I'm I used to be a victim of it too, of replaying things in your head that either you think you could have done better or you wonder if you shouldn't have done or whatever. Replaying shit in the past that you can't do nothing about now. And that's just going through your mind. It's something that you definitely can't control. Not the past, but you can control what it is that you're thinking about. And that is where people, or at least in my view, that's where it seems like um, we are stuck at. Some people could be stuck at because it's very hard, or we make it hard to focus on the moment and the present. And a lot of people have these religious beliefs, as so have I, and that's not a knock on any kind of religion. But they also teach us the way, or they teach, or that is a part of us, whether we denounce it now or we are still practicing that religion. Or a lot of kids now are grown up or raised by TV shows, or the television or social media, and that's a big influence as well. Um, all of those outlets are ways to shape and mold the mind of a person. And that's making it simple because it seems like everybody or a lot of people have been taught to be the victim. So I remember when I used to, if I would use that word I again, it's just different now when one thinks or questions certain things. When a person uses the word I, it seems like you're separating yourself, which a lot of religious teachings teach you that the I is the ego, and a lot of spiritual teachings would tell you to get rid of the ego. A lot of them will obviously say you can't get rid of it, And I'm sure some of those statements may or may not go over one's head, but what makes sense the most to get out of all of that blab that we've been taught is to recognize that somebody is trying to control your mind. And it seems funny to say that when but it's the it's just, why else would anybody be telling you anything once you come out on earth? So, or most people are born with parents or a parent or someone there, however you are brought here, and you grow up with these people around you until they send you off to school, and then you start interacting with others that we call peers now, and then that's when it seems like different opinions and ideas start forming. But I guess to rather keep it simple, somebody's always been telling you something, and what they tell you is exactly what shapes you now. But you have the control to tell yourself whatever you want. And if you're telling yourself that you're what society has told you that you are, and telling you that this is where you came from, when that can definitely be disputed if you ascribe to whatever these definitions again that people have been telling you, then you are telling yourself that this is what I am. And studying words and etymology and uh, the spiritual world, I am is very, very powerful, because whatever you say after those three letters, those two words, you are physically, scientifically, all that, you're shaping your reality. I chose to use those words because it has been proven in science that words affect things. There's a study that everyone can observe of how they prove that your tone connected to that word sends out a vibration. And they prove that with a lot of things, but the easiest experiment that you can observe, you can participate in yourself, or again, you can watch it. They taped hateful words on one glass of water, and they taped loving words on a separate glass of water. And everyone all day had to focus all their intent and their emotion, which is the tone and the vibration that is inside of your being. And they focused on looking at that object and saying these words. Once they did that, they observed the vibration and they froze the water to see what would happen after saying this to that glass. And then they did the same thing with the other glass, where one was saying any loving word that you could think of. And they froze again that. And then they looked at the results of that test, and the water that had all the hateful words and all the negative energy formed dark and all kind of uh, I don't even know what word to say for that. It was just it didn't form anything. The crystals that the ice froze over the water was of no form, no void. It changed its color as if like the ice could rot. It seemed like the ice rotted. I mean, I don't know. You could look for yourself, but the the water with the loving words and all the kind thoughts formed what we would call the prettiest designs and most uh, profound designs throughout the ice or whatever that was left of the frozen water. That's just the point again to prove that the words that you use and that you have an understanding of or that you choose to believe are important because that will tell you where you are in your life and it could tell you how to get out of wherever the fuck you put yourself by subscribing to all these views that people have told you to subscribe to without even analyzing if it made any sense or if it was really true or analyzing if you know that it's true but you still choose to put out the lie because you benefit from it. And I mean I'm not the one to judge because I don't know what happens when you're not in this form anymore, which they call death. Who knows what happens when you leave here? But the new question is, why is that important? And the only thing that's important is what you have right now, because you can only be as good as you are right now. You can't be good in the future if you don't start being what you choose to be right now.